I'll get on my little soapbox for a second.
It's Mark Sherwin's Contractor Marketing Soapbox.
Your guide to getting found, selected, and remembered.
And now, here's Mark.
Hey, welcome, Soapboxers. Definitely appreciate you tuning in today. I have a guest that I am very excited to share. Many of you that are watching this might know him, seen him around. Mr. Jim Hinshaw. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Mark. It's my pleasure to be here. I appreciate you guys and what you do. You're valued partners with us at Leads Nearby. Thank you.
We appreciate that feedback. Thank you. We've been partners. We were like the second marketing firm ever as a partner with Service Nation. Yeah, it's been a while. That was 13 years ago, about 12, 13 years ago now.
Good.
It has been a great ride since. And the reason I asked you as a guest is you've seen quite a bit from you and I probably both predate the internet. And I sat here and I thought, and I was getting these questions constantly from contractors, right? Why are some contractors, even in the same market, more successful than others? And it kind of boiled down to me. We've been doing the Leads. This is our 15-year anniversary this year. Leads
Hey, congrats!
Thank you. It dawned on me. It wasn't because somebody was ranked number one. It wasn't because they had a gorgeous website. It was something else made them successful. And I have a very recent example of it, and we'll talk about it during this conversation. But the reason I want you on here, and I'm anxious, I got to be honest with you, I'm anxious to hear your responses to some of these questions. There are a number of people right now looking to start their own company. Just, hey, you know what? I'm watching my boss make all this money. I want to go out and I'm going to just copy whatever he does and be rich like him and go fishing on the weekends.
Yeah. And
in talking with people around the country, people that I think very highly of, Joe Stripmatter, Corey Hickman, just the name drop of Lou Hobaika, just name dropping a few people, but these guys didn't know everything to start.
That's right.
And I'm wondering if I came to you and said, "Hey, Jim, I'm looking to start my HVAC company here in Raleigh, North Carolina. What do I got to do first? What are you going to tell me?"
Well, first thing is, number one, I would have a set of procedures and processes that you want to have executed every single time. Mark, the best time to do that is at the beginning, when it's just maybe you and a helper. And so the worst time is when you're a Joe Stripmatter with 48 employees and you go, oh, we're going to change this and we're going to do something different. And all 48 go, oh, really? You're going to do maybe. So now I'm using him as an example. He did a very good job and executed really well. But literally, when you're young, and by young, I mean years in the business, and you got some time to devote to it, you go, here's my vision for my company. Here's what I want it to be. And Mark, it really boils down to your why. Why are you in this business?
Yes.
What do you want to bring to the table that people are not seeing now? And it might be, you could say, well, I want value. Well, describe value. What does that mean? Is it a financial value? Is it the value of being able to rely on that company to do exactly what's needed to be done every single time? If that's the case, you better have some procedures written out on everything. How to answer the phone, how to approach the door. You knock, you back up 6 feet. Why 6 feet? You get out of striking distance, because typically the person you're meeting at the door is a female, correct? I'm not being sexist or anything else. So you start and you say, I want to have this position, service technician, installer, CSR, whatever it is, will have these characteristics. I want them to be friendly. I want them to be outgoing. I want them to be gracious and have compassion. But above all else, I want them to execute this exactly the same way every single time. McDonald's, I probably haven't been in a McDonald's in a decade, but I'll guarantee you this. You go to a McDonald's in Raleigh, in Phoenix, in Dallas, it's going to be pretty darn similar. That quarter pounder is going to be pretty much the same everywhere you go because they've got the system worked out. And they now have 23-year-olds managing those restaurants, and they're managing $1 million business by themselves. So that's first concept I would have. Identify those best practices from the start. I would love for that to be in writing, so somebody could look at that document and go, "Oh, that's how you do." And then, Mark, it makes it so much easier to train. You bring that second person in. Oh, here, Eddie, here's our manual. Here's what we do when we go to a home. Exactly the same. Then you'd better double check to be sure they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing during that. And that's why Leads Nearby is so valuable. They can help with that process of making sure that customer is really glued to you and sticking with you by a satisfactory or above performance, right?
Yes. As marketers, I find myself doing as much coaching as sometimes anything, right? It's, hey, Mark, just make me number one on Google, and the phones will ring. Everybody that answers will have a credit card in their hand. They don't mind waiting 2 weeks, and they don't look for a coupon. And in today's world, unfortunately, that is no longer accurate. People are looking, when they go online, they're looking for as much reason not to do business with somebody as they are looking to do business with somebody.
Exactly.
Reviews. They're looking at your website. They're looking at your culture. And for me, what I tell clients is I want your processes in place, but your process also dictates your culture.
Oh, excellent.
And I will tell you, if you don't have the culture, right, to know that they're going to follow the process, it is an amazing. I will. You go and ask, and this is just an anecdote more than anything, but you go and ask 10 clients right now, 10 contractors right now.
Yeah,
they will all. Hey, I've given all of my trucks lawn signs, business cards, stickers, everything. Of all 10 of them, I would guess 20%, 2 of them would tell you, yeah, every single time they use those things.
Yeah.
A valuable lesson I learned from Lou Hobaika was just constantly train on this, create the expectation. And he would role play with his people on how to ask for referrals and reviews, and every time, not once every quarter, not once every 6 months,
right? Every
meeting they would do this.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It sounds hard. But at the end of the day, it's not. It's why. Why did you build this company? Yeah. And
so, Mark, and a great, significantly accurate story in regards to that is, I did work for Danny Ainge back in the day in Phoenix, Arizona. He was a Phoenix Suns coach, one of the coaches. They had 15 of them, but he was one of them. And I asked him, how do you start out a coaching season? Not just a practice, but a season. He says, I start with how to tie your shoes. And I'm going, well, probably most of these guys are, in their 20s. They probably know how to tie shoes. Oh, Jim, they don't know how to tie their shoes, so they stay tied during a game. The worst thing that can happen is the least expensive thing, the shoelace gets unraveled and you trip as you're dribbling that ball, and that'll cost you a game. So he said, it's the fundamentals. So that's what I'm so glad you talked about, the training aspect. We've got to have a significantly robust training aspect, and it's just the basics for many times because people hear what they want to hear. Our brains focus out, well, it's not important anymore. Oh, yes, it is. And the more times you repeat it, more important it gets. So you hit on it. Culture is the second most valuable thing that can be put together for a company. And it requires open leadership. It requires shared values. It requires you being able to say, here's who we are. Here's why we are this. And Mark, the really successful companies, the owner has one-on-one time with every employee, at least when they're joining up, to say, here's who we are. There's history on your shoulders. Every time you go into a home, there's, in some cases, Roberts Air Conditioning in Phoenix, Arizona, 3 generations. Sissy Roberts, now president. 3rd generation, 4th generation is being trained right now. And she'll tell employees, hey, you got 3 generations of Roberts on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. Don't drop the ball. Don't mess up. If you're not sure, don't do anything. Call. We're your backstop. We're not afraid. And if you have to make a decision that involves maybe a credit of some kind, they've given their employees the ability to say, Mrs. Jones, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this go away right now. Okay. So that's the kind of thing that you got to have a culture.
Yep.
Let me give you here's a description of a culture that I saw unfold myself. One of our members in Pennsylvania, Mark, when I give these illustrations, I'm not going to use the name of the company, okay? Okay. But this company in Pennsylvania started out probably when I started working with them, $4 or $5 million a year, good sized company, okay? Yeah. Within 3 years, they grown to 18 million a year, okay, 3 years. And one way was their culture. And they had every year an all company, they shut the company down about 2 o'clock on a Friday, went to a golf course and had a extravaganza. They had everybody there. They had a huge table full of prizes. Everybody got a prize just for showing up.
Yep.
And one year, the guy built these he had a artist commissioned a caricature of every employee. So the people in accounting had a slide rule or a calculator in their hand. The guys in install had wrenches, and the guys in refrigeration service had a set of gauges. But it was a caricature. And you look at the face, you go, oh, that's me. And I'm going, how many employees you got? That year he had 35. And I go, you're talking thousands of dollars. He said, no. He went to Fiverr and hired a guy named Danielle, and I can't even pronounce the name right, but this is a guy who's an artist working out of somewhere in Brazil that put these together for about $10 a piece. And they were beautiful. And he had them framed up. They're probably 2 foot by 18 inches. And when you went into their company, that was on the wall right there outside. So it's just one of those things where you go, okay, that's a culture.
Culture attracts new employees, attracts clients. Like you want to go to work for a company like that has that type of culture. You want to do business with somebody that when you go to their About Us page, there's more than a picture of you and your kid. Like there's.
That's right.
And a quick aside here, and this is for anybody. Your About Us page tells you everything you need to know about the traffic coming into your website. And almost across the board. Yep. In all these nearby clients, the About Us page is one of the top 5 most visited pages in the website.
Yeah. They want to know.
They want to know.
Who's going to be involved with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your culture? What are your values? What is your mission statement? They watch videos when they do this.
That's right. So in that regard, let me add something. I've got a new title. I'm the CEO of Service Nation. Okay.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't even know that.
It's brand new, and it's Chief Encouragement Officer.
There you go. All right.
And that's what I do. That's my job, And so we're all about that. And I think that's the kind of role that we got to have as a contractor. You got to be able to know your employees, what they're going through, how they're working, and how they feel about themselves and the customers.
And I will tell you, unequivocally, if I looked at all of my top performing clients, every single one of them has built the culture, has gotten involved in their community. Yeah. Right. They look at their community not as a oh my gosh, I got to go out there. hey, how can I be helping people, right? The gift of heat, or hey, can I sponsor this 5K? Or like they're out in their community and involved. If I look at the training and all of those things are all pre any marketing, all like, and then they come to me and go, okay, Mark, it's time for me to grow. I've created all of this.
Yeah.
This is one of the first questions I ask in the sales process. How did you get to where you are today? What have you done?
There you go.
I'm talking about how they built the company to 500,000, a million, whatever it is, right? Where do you want to go? And what are you willing to do to get there?
Yeah.
And I will tell every single one of my most successful clients, the ones that don't call, that don't struggle, they are more than 50% involved with their marketing.
Yep.
The other 50% is in their company. Based on the processes and everything else they've established, they have the time to spend on their marketing.
Exactly.
Then they turn around and they look at me and they're like, but nothing. Guerrilla marketing still works. I want signs in yards. I want stickers on units. I want people handing out coupons at the grocery store. I don't care if you're in line. Here's a $25 coupon towards the service. Everybody needs to be involved.
Yep.
All of those client, and I'll save the name for a different conversation. He calls me up and says, Mark, we're a little slow. I said, oh yeah. He goes, I just wanted to let you know. I know that mostly falls on me. Like I heard birds chirping in the background. I was like, oh my gosh, nobody realizes. Joe Stripmatter, I had a question out there, like how much should he be involved in his marketing? That was a Facebook question. And he piped in, he goes, it took me a long time to learn, but him and Corey Hickman kind of went back and forth with me a little bit, but 50%. E-Myth was the book that talked about that.
Yep, exactly.
But, and then you can ask your marketing company, hey, I need to get positioned well. I've done all my legwork. I've done everything I can to make sure that people know who I am in this marketplace. Now you need to position me when they're looking for our services.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, and I'm going to name drop, and I don't care.
Go for it.
Mr. Roy White.
Oh, yeah.
I told him he's a great guy. I love talking to him. The culture that he's built with that company. And unfortunately, the website just didn't correspond with what he had built. I just painted the picture, and it grew tremendously for him. Yeah. He saw it, he felt it, and that's what I'm. If anybody's listening to this right now, if anybody's like, Mark, how do I talk to people like Jim, talk to people like me? I can talk to people like Joe or Corey, make some relationships out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Watch videos like this. Learn.
So Roy White, Contractor of the Year last year for Service Nation. So he's excellent. I'm going to be up there. We're doing a tour of his place in October, and it's just going to be amazing. He has done.
I might have to invite myself to that. These are the kinds of things, though, that when you're building that culture, when you're mean everything, absolutely everything in the world to being found, being selected, being remembered, be the person that they choose. Yep. People are willing to wait for quality work.
They will. Absolutely will. Yeah. And I understand sometimes you're going to have an emergency situation, but that's where you can really shine. If you had an emergency situation, let me help you, Ms. Jones. We're going to go ahead and do whatever's necessary to get your cooling back online, because I know you've got an 85-year-old mother and a 2-week-old baby in the house. And that's the kind of things that happen in life.
They do.
You've got 3 or 4 generations. My family, we moved up to Colorado probably 2008 out of Phoenix, Arizona, had 4 generations under one roof. My mom, my wife and I, and my son, his wife and grandson on the lower level. And the benefit, my mom could see her great-grandson every day. And it was just, so people go, you're crazy. No, I'm blessed. It was really a good thing. So going back to community involvement, I'm glad you opened that door, because we've got.
That's a little soapbox all by itself.
It is. And it's so, and Mark, there are some things you can do that are really easy. We've got a couple of members that do an ice cream thing in the summertime. and they say, oh, you buy a system from us, you're going to get ice cream for a year. And what do? They get like 12 coupons good for once a month to go to the ice cream store and get $50 worth of ice cream. So the ice cream guy that sells that to them sells it at a discount, number one.
Yep.
And number two, he said, when they come in with a family of 4, I'm getting $75 worth of ice cream sold that day. He said they don't buy, they're buying the most expensive ice cream I got and all the toppings, all the nuts, cherries, everything on it because they already got this $50 coupon. And so you look at that and you go, wow, man. So in a year, that's maybe $400 or $500 you're spending, but on a $15,000 system, that's not the sales tax. So we've got another member that does coffee, and he's in a smaller town in Oklahoma, and it's Tucker Yarborough. You probably know him.
Oh, sure, I know. Yep.
Yeah. So Tucker pre-buys coffee for a day, and he gives it to the owner of the coffee shop and says, use these coupons and give them to whoever you want. He doesn't try to micromanage. Whoever you want, just say, hey, Yarborough and Sons bought your coffee today. Oh, what do? They do heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, all this stuff. He has a card he hands them. And so what happens? The owner of that coffee shop, it's an independent coffee shop, says, man, I really appreciate you. And you're helping me build my business as well as building your business. So that community involvement, it's critical to scaling. And you can do it at a grassroots level. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You can spend a few hundred and make something happen.
I've heard so many stories, some really good stories. Alyssa Rogers is tremendous at this, by the way. I learned a lot from her and what she does and her community. And I'm not even a client of ours. Just I really thoroughly enjoy what she does in the community. But like I've been telling clients, I go to I've visited quite a few of my clients, and I go in the back and I look, and they've got these old trucks sitting in the back, kind of retired trucks. I'm like, why doesn't somebody turn one of those into an ice cream truck?
Oh, there you go.
Drive it up to the little leagues and the dollar donation to any whatever, and just give out ice cream sandwiches all day.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, here's a coupon for $25 off any service.
Yeah,
just
there you go.
Things like that are so powerful for the community, because then the social media gets involved. People start recommending you. People start laughing with you, taking photos with you. It is amazingly powerful. When you said ice cream, that reminded me of that idea. I still haven't found anybody to take me up on it, but that's the kind of thing. Like, just do and be involved with your community. I will tell. There was a guy. It's a quick story. I won't name drop. It was a garage door company out in towards Vegas area. Yeah. And I told him, I said, dude, your garage doors. And and I was just having a conversation with him, and I go, are you going? What are you doing this weekend? He's like, oh, I'm going to a car show. Oh yeah, what do you got? He had it was a 70-something Chevelle, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to show off my car. I'm like, dude, I need you to go down to the store. I need you to print off $50 off coupons or $99 garage door tune-ups, and I need you to get a second space for your truck. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I want you to park your truck right next to your Chevelle.
Yep.
And hand out $50 coupons to every other car in that area and anybody that walks by. If they come up to your truck and go, what's so special about it? Nothing. Here's $50. He gave away 200 cards. Oh. By that time next week, he had 150 of them come back for an appointment.
See, that's the kind of grassroots marketing that is so powerful. And car guys, they know each other. That's a cult.
They know each other. They love their garage. They love their car. They're not letting it sit outside. They're going to upgrade whenever they possibly can.
Do you know Lou Habaika has cars?
Oh yeah, I've been to that garage. That was one of my favorite garage. He's got a silver Chevelle in there. I told him that's mine. Don't.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm going to actually send him this video to remind him. Community involvement. Get out there, talk to people. I had a client recently. He couldn't really pull it off, but he had a great idea. He was going to be at a public. It was a park, and it was like this festival they had going on, and he was going to create a cool zone. So he had his truck there, and he was going to put a mini split in the side of it, kind of section off a section there. And he's going to have a generator running it.
Yeah.
And so you can come in and get cooled off.
Yeah.
That's it. Just a little couch in there, right? And he's like, they didn't let him have the generator, but that was that kind of thing means the world to your community. Why? Here's my coupon. Here, you're not going to need us today. Maybe you need us tomorrow.
Yep. I've got one for you similar to that, Daffin Mechanical. And Tom Peregrino was president of Daffin. That was his company that he owned for, you know, Tom.
I know, absolutely.
So he had a concept. He's in Granbury, Texas, which is a bedroom community outside of Fort Worth. And how many population? Maybe 30, 40,000. I don't know. It's not a huge town, but it's not a really small. But 4th of July is a big deal to him. Big parade on 4th of July. So Tom, this has probably been 7 or 8 years ago, had an idea to do what you just said, make a cool zone. Had a pickup truck, put a split system in there, put a little generator in there, ran it and blew the cool air at the crowd. And his wife said, you're doing 4 or 5 people at a time. Maybe you ought to think bigger. Tom went ahead, and 3 years later, he had a 52-foot semi-truck trailer with a 40-ton package unit on it and a big generator. He cooled down a block at a time. And I'm going, where did you get the 40-ton rooftop? He said, I rented it, a few $100s for the day. I'm going, well, that's pretty cool. And it made an impression. And now, it's one of those things you go, okay, that's setting the bar high. So,
and Jim, and for anybody listening, we're telling you, Mark, you're an internet marketing firm. Why am I doing all this stuff in the community?
Yeah,
I will tell you, right? And I'm going to connect the dots for everybody listening. When you're involved in your community, you get links back to your website from the places you're supporting. You get opportunities for links. We call it backlinks. That helps me with SEO all day long.
Yeah.
You get opportunities for social media mentions and seeing the videos and photos, and you get that. Absolutely. Then you get that brand awareness. You get to show off your culture. Yeah. So when that person who might not be in need of an air conditioner or a plumber or an electrician at this moment, or heck, a garage door, at that moment in time, when they see you in search results, they turn around and go, oh, those are the guys that I get a coupon. Oh, hey, let me see if I can dig that out.
Yep.
That is what you are looking for. That makes everything that we're doing for you or your marketing company is doing for you, it just steps on the gas pedal.
Well, and Mark, that also creates an atmosphere that other people want to be involved with you.
Absolutely.
And you can recruit using some of those same tools. So it's a double. You can recruit for customers, but employees as well.
Yep.
People like to be with successful companies that are making things happen and being involved.
100%. I have a client down in Atlanta. Ultra, he created he started with me. It was about 14 years ago. He was my top 10 client. And he's still with me today.
Good.
He's 74 million today. And he went from an electrician to a HVAC, added plumbing later, about $74 million now. And he's involved in his community. He's getting reviews. He's doing the things that he needed to set up that entire culture that people wanted to come work for him. Yeah. So much so, and he even said that people started leaving me to start their own thing. But and Lewis said it, this guy said it, they all end up coming back. Or he tries to help them be successful because he wants other companies out there treating people right.
Well, you want to raise the bar and raise the level of professionalism in the whole industry and in your city specifically. Yeah. So
that's exactly
you can do that. Good.
Jim, I can't appreciate this conversation enough. I'm going to bring it around a little bit full circle for us. And I really want those listening that are like, Mark, I'm not a startup. I'm 5 million. Now, how am I going to learn from this?
Yeah.
I want you to take away from this that those things that you did to start the company are still important today. Don't ever lose that community involvement. Don't ever lose that training. Don't ever lose the things that got you to this point.
Yeah.
They will continue to propel you as you move forward. You'll be adding locations. Do the same thing in the new area, right? That you did when you first started.
You still have that why, and you've got to communicate that why to every single employee so they all know, here's why we're here. You talk to Lou Habaika, his son Andy, who sold, I think, a little over $6 million in residential replacement work last year.
Yeah.
1 year, as well as being a proud family man with 2 young kids. So he's doing some amazing things. He says when he gets to the door of the house, if they'd never done work with him before, he says, my first job is to make a friend. And I tell him our why. Here's why we're in business. Lou's dad started that company back in the 50s. And so they've got a tradition and a history that's repeatable and shareable, and they do it every single time. That's why they're the leaders in that market.
It is a and you know what? They're not the biggest company out there.
No, they're in the shadows of a couple of companies doing 200 million. Okay. And still making things happen.
Yeah. They're still
high success rate.
Successful. That's exactly right. You don't have to be the big guy. You don't have to go after them, right? No. You can forge out and create your niche within there.
Absolutely.
And that community. And that was one of my please if you're listening to this now or later, understand something. Own your backyard.
Yeah.
Don't think that, hey, I'm in Atlanta, I need to own Marietta. No, stop. Own where you are, and then you can go knock on the door to the next town.
Yep.
Then you can knock on the next door in the next town, and the next town, and the next town. Own where you are. We have a service here at Leeds and Brock called Primo, and it helps people identify what path they should take. Right? We prioritize mapping opportunities, and we look at that area and go, hey, this zip code, this has got a lot of the homes that you're looking for. Yep. That should be your next target. But own here first. Here's how many homes that match your demographic, who you're looking to attract. Here's the next one. Then we come over here and we do the next one. And they might not be next to one another, but they allow you the visual component to say this is where you need to be focused.
Exactly.
Jim, we've talked for quite a bit of time here. Any let's see, words of wisdom for the people watching this now or in the future from the we're going to call you a legend to your face, but any words?
I've been around a long time, Mark. 56 years in this industry. So
shoot, you've been around in this industry longer than I've been alive on this earth. So, all right, I'll take the legend's advice. What's that one?
Here's, no matter if you're a $1 million company or a startup company or you're doing 30 to 40 million, we have one of the largest companies on the planet in our portfolio, 350 million. Okay, 350 million, based out of Tennessee. And they're in 5 states, but I asked them, 350 million, to my knowledge, that's the biggest on the planet. There's Gettle is right behind them at 250 million. You got others that are in that $200 million range. But 350, 1,000 technicians, Mark, 1,000 technicians. Wow. They own the home. They say, well, we do heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, garage doors. They do garage doors, connected home. They do solar, anything you want to do in your home. They've got it. So I asked them, why do you want to be part of us? You've scaled massively. It can't be because, and he says, well, I got 5 managers. Each one of them is responsible for about a $50 million book of business. I want them to be able to grow that to $100 million because I want to be a $800 million company in 5 years. Okay, there's a target. So here's my next message for you, and here's why I started that. He hires for attitude, and then he trains them what to do. So one of his general managers was a manager of a barbecue restaurant in Tennessee that he met having dinner. We've got these stories out there, and you're going, wow. When you start asking people, where'd you come from? You're going to get an eye-opening experience. And what do we do in our industry? Heating and air conditioning. Let's just take heating and air conditioning for a minute. And you go, well, what do I want? Well, I want a guy who's a 10-year veteran who's been on heat pumps, and he knows how to diagnose, and he knows how to hold how much refrigerant needs to be in a unit. What? No. What you want is a guy with a good attitude that can communicate. And you can train him how to fix a heat pump. But literally, if you've got a person that's really good mechanically but doesn't like people and doesn't like talking to people, and he shuts down or he gives stupid responses, that's not the best fit for you. So hire for attitude, train for skill. No matter what level you're at, that's a critical element to growing and having a culture that people want to be part of.
So when should that company seek out an organization such as Service Roundtable, Service Nation? Where's the break point? What do they have to? Where are they in their trajectory that you are a great fit for?
Mark, you are really good at what you do, because I didn't tell you to ask that question, but that's an excellent question, and I get asked that all the time. And here's my response. We can help you no matter where you are on your journey. We have members in our membership getting valuable information to help grow their company and scale their business and create a legacy starting at $250,000 a year. One man, one person. Corey Hickman was that person starting out. Just him, had a dream, had a vision. Yep. He's executed it amazingly well. And you can take that all the way up to 350 million. We have tools and techniques for that customer as well. So no matter where you are on the journey, we have 4 levels of membership and then a 5th level, and we have coaches that can work with any one of those levels. So we have coaches that can help you, over 30 coaches, and we have coaches that can help with sales, implementation, with how to build a culture. And the people you mentioned already, every one of them is one of our coaches. But let me go back to Roy White just for a second. This is so exciting. Roy White, Contractor of the Year last year, one of our coaches. He works with, I think he's working with 6 or 7 other companies right now. And he tells me he's got bandwidth. He can do that. He hired a coach. He hired one of our coaches for sales. Tracy Harper, who used to be at Daffin Mechanical. She was Tom Peregrino's sales manager. Really good. And I pulled Roy aside. I said, you realize you got to pay for her coaching. It's not free, even though you're a coach. You pay. He says, I know. But she can say things to my team. She'll say the same thing I say, but they listen differently. Because, right? And so isn't that the case?
Yep.
So no matter where you are on your journey, if you're brand new starting out, we've got tools and techniques for you. We've got systems. We got processes put together. We have training at every level. We believe there's 7 fundamental levels of business, pillars of business. You can go to our website. I'm not going to take time to run them off, but we have training specific in each one of those levels. We have training on the financial side. We have training on the sales side. We have training on the culture. All those levels, we have training that'll fit for you. And to your point, some of it, there might be a fee attached to it, an investment attached to it. Some are virtual, some are live. We do regional training. One of the things we did, thank you. Yeah, one of the things we did this last year, we started doing regional trainings. We're teaming up with some of our vendor partners. We haven't teamed up with you yet, but we'd love to, where we can come to you're in Raleigh, right?
Right outside of Raleigh. Yep. Yes,
yeah. Sir. So we could come down to Raleigh. We just did with Sunbelt Rentals, which is not too far away. They're closer to Charlotte, I think.
Yep.
But we came to their place, did a training there, 2-day training, had the tour of their place. They can see how you do what you do. And our members love it. We have 15, 20 members at these functions. And Mark, ask me what I do on those regional trainings. Go ahead, ask me.
What do you do on those regional trainings, Jim?
I'm so glad you asked, because that's my job, Mark. My job. I'm the host. Okay. I pick the hotels and the restaurants.
There you
And
go.
then I make sure that everything's flowing as we go through the day. And literally every time we do one of those, we end up, the members come to us, say, you know, I could use some extra help with coaching. I talk about the coaching package while we're there. That's not the reason for the meeting. The reason for the meeting is to do some training, might be on implementation. We do a lot of training on DISC. Are you familiar with DISC?
Absolutely.
Well, we believe in that heavily, and we have a DISC platform that is through a company called Intermetrics, and they have a 3-part approach to DISC. It's not only DISC, it's also external attributes and internal attributes. And so it gives you an incredible picture of how a person acts and reacts. And so we do a couple of days on that. We do on-site visits. We've got a wide variety of things, and at servicenation.com will give you an idea, the overview.
For the people listening, if the people future listen to this, seek out the advice of the people that have been there.
There you go.
Right. Watch more videos like this. Find people that you align with.
Yep.
Find people that you when you're listening to them, you look at them as the authority and trust what they're saying. Am I that person for marketing every single time? Absolutely not. Right? Is Jim that person every single time? Probably not. But those that do align with us do extraordinarily well. And that I zero issue saying, because I have the proof in my work, and Jim has the proof in his work. Jim, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. It has been a truly one of my. I'm sort of new to podcasting, and this is one of my favorites easily. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk.
So, do you have a chance to put my phone number up there on that screen?
Absolutely.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an offer. Okay. If you give me a call based on this podcast, I'll give you a $100 discount to come to our Service World Expo coming up in Las Vegas in October. It's going to be huge. You're going to be, wow. You'll be blown away. It'll be amazing. $100 discount. If you call me, 602-369-8097. I will take the call.
Amazing offer. We appreciate that. That is awesome. Thank you, Jim.
Good.
And I will see you in Vegas.
Excellent, Mark. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Appreciate the time today.
Bye now. Thank you again.
All right. Bye-bye.
It's Mark Sherwin's Contractor Marketing Soapbox. Call Mark to learn more. 919-758-8420.